Everybody, welcome to the Couch of Therapy Show. I am your host, Haneef R Jordan, and today we have my wonderful guest, Angel Ray. And I'm talking about a longtime friend, Angel Ray. He is an amazing artist. I love the way he sings. Spanish artist, yes, y'all listen to Spanish music. I want to plug him real quick because I do want you guys to look for him on all streaming platforms. Angel Ray. But today, this conversation that we're about to have is one of a journey of heartbreak, redemption, God, and how blessed he is now. So with no further ado, welcome my wonderful, handsome guest, Angel Ray.
Oh, you're too kind. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Angel, I want to talk about your wonderful journey. First of all, what has inspired you to become the singer that you are?
I think life, everyday life, inspires me. Every struggle, every moment that I've spent in private, just contemplating my life, and moments like this, moments in life, the little brief moments that we have are an inspiration for me.
I think life is truly a collection of moments.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
And when you start understanding that, you're able to appreciate them more, right? Instead of, sometimes we psych ourselves out to think that life has to be a certain way,
right.
But it's actually the moments that we collect.
It's the journey.
Yeah, it really is. It's not the destination, honey, at all, right? But I do want to talk about what I actually love. When we first met,
yes.
Angel met me on radio, right. And I love that I would always hear this jazz type of feel, like in your music. What has inspired you for that?
I think growing up, I grew up with my dad who played a requinto, and it's like a 5-string guitar in Mexico that is used for boleros. Bolero is a type of genre that is a mix of ballad and sort of an Afro-American feel to it. Yeah. And my dad was always in love with music, playing the piano, playing the guitar, and growing up, all I've heard was that, and it was a very interesting journey for me as a child because I wasn't interested in music at all.
Really?
Yeah, I was 5 years old. My dad would call me up whenever he was playing, and he would say like, "You need to learn this song," and the song was about love and like heartbreak. And I was a child, you know.
Like, what am I singing
I was
about?
like, I don't get this. But then eventually, it just established a form of thinking and looking at the beauty of life through instruments.
Yeah.
And I think the acoustic instruments, such as piano, guitar, violins, all kinds of strings, bring this peace. And there's something about them that makes me just feel better immediately.
Right.
And obviously, when I started writing, that's the source. That was the source. That was the bank. All the memories that were stored there started, coming out, and that's my writing.
What keeps you inspired on the longevity of music? Because, that journey in anything that we love, right? And we have passion for, or we're called to, because I think you're called to do what you're doing. That's the difference from just wanting to do something, right? But when you're called, we do have those seasons where we kind of second guess, things aren't going the way that we may plan them to go, and life hits.
Yes.
What kept you going?
I gotta be honest. You and I know that doing what we do takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. And people see the performance of it. They see the public appearance of it. And forget the struggles behind doors. And there were many times, even recently, where I said, okay, I'm done. Music is a different kind of thing I don't want to do. I want to focus on something else. And that is at that moment when things start coming together.
I think when we release.
Yes, when we let it go, or when I say, okay, I'm not doing this, all of a sudden I get phone calls from South America, phone calls from Mexico, with new projects, with new ideas. And it just starts stirring this up inside of me where I can't stop thinking about it. I start writing, I start doing things. There was a time where I had to write a Christmas song in Spanish. I was asked to do this EP for Christmas, which is, it was the first time I ever wrote Christmas music. And I was writing, and this one particular song, I couldn't write. So I told my wife, I'm just gonna go shower, let go, forget about it. I'm in the shower. 2 minutes later, bring me some paper. Bring me some paper. Because I was so, I don't know. It just came. It just came, and I had to write it.
And I need the audience to understand this too, if you guys are watching and hearing us, is the one thing about creativity: if you don't write it down, as soon as it comes, you lose it.
It goes away.
And you cannot remember the way that it was gifted to you.
Yes.
And that's why I understand that it's a gift,
Yeah.
right? That God gives you gifts, and that tells me that you have to move on his gift. Because if you don't move on it, it takes it away.
It's really funny. Sometimes I stop listening to my music on purpose, or music at all. There are months, like 2-3 months, where I just don't listen to anything.
Oh, that's good though.
I don't want to. I don't want to hear it. And then there are moments where I play my songs back, or I listen to something else and it's like, I've never heard it that way. Or even some of my songs, I was like, I wrote that. Like I couldn't have done it, even if I tried today. It just came at that moment.
Yeah.
And it was sporadic. And it was quick.
I wanted to talk to Angel Ray about what I love, and what you guys will witness is most of my guests are faith-based, and I don't think people believe that we kind of go through anything because we still know how to have the smile on our face, because we choose to tap into God's joy. That I think that's your birthright. I don't think a lot of people understand that the joy that God gives you, he gave you at birth. Happiness is a choice. It is a mindset. Some days you choose it, some days you don't. But that joy comes from God. And so, Angel, you went through, well, we both went through something at the same time. You already know about, I done had my story. But let's talk about, because what I see now is how blessed you are. How one chapter closed, and even through all that heartbreak and pain, how God still had his hand on you the whole time. And so you had a first marriage, and unfortunately, the demise of that marriage ended because of betrayal, and betrayal of infidelity. I'm trying to get the right word. You okay with me talking about
Yes.
that? Okay.
It's just the first time ever that I get to speak on this.
And I get the exclusive. Look. I'm just. Well, honey, let me get some tissue, because I'm gonna cry right with you, because I understand. Because one thing about betrayal in that aspect and infidelity, it breaks your spirit. It is something. If you haven't went through it, you don't understand it. If you haven't been on the end of the person, the heartbreak, that recovery process is excuse my French. I know this is a faith-based show, but it's a bitch. Let me tell you, it really is. That pain is something else, and no one can pull you out of that.
True.
No one. I mean, people tell you to pray, you don't want to pray. People tell you to go to God, you're like, well, where was he when this happened? When this happened to me, y'all want to talk about go to God? Go to God. I went to him. Why he allowed this? We don't see the reason, of course, until after, and when you do self-reflection. But if you're willing, because this is an exclusive, thank you for allowing me, because you trust me.
I do.
I know, but I want you to relax. I feel it. It's hard for me to. It is. But as your friend, I watched you go through that pain. But I don't think you understand how much of an inspiration you are too, because you kept your feet on the ground running. You still remained a man with integrity, and not every man has integrity. You still remained a father, a loving father, and you still was soft spoken. I don't know how you did it, because me, I be ready to box. I'm still a little street. You ain't gonna be breaking my heart around here. We not finna fight. That's what I'm saying. I have to knuckle up a little bit. Like, I want you to feel this, and if I can't feel it any other way, I want you to feel it physically. I'm just saying. But I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And I haven't had a chance to tell you that, because we were going through it at the same time.
We did it.
Yeah, you were going through infidelity, and I was going through infidelity, and but you made the right decision. Tell me how. And share only what you want. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very difficult moment in life. You go with the expectation that it's going to be forever.
Right.
and things change. And looking back, obviously there are two parts to the story.
Correct.
Um, the question was, what kept me going? At that moment, I had a 3 year old. She was one at the moment, actually. She was 1 year old. And she was my reason to keep it together. Aside from that, I had a job to take care of. I had projects to do. I had trips to take to Mexico and music.
Yeah.
So it was a storm of things. And obviously, you have to, at that moment, take the most careful decisions. And I never decide on anything when you're sad, depressed, angry,
Emotions.
emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think I had a support system that helped me. I had a support system around me, like my sister.
Yeah. Y'all love
my-
your sister.
Yes,
Mhm.
my pastors and my friends. And that circle of people just came together and didn't let me fall apart because it's easy. It's
I
easy to
know.
make very bad decisions
Who you
when
telling?
you're, when you're going through something like that.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
then, I had a girl that I had to take care of and
Yeah.
I had to look after. And so she would look at me with the hope of, making a day happy rather than, me being moping around. I had to put that aside. And it's still working in me. I mean, I'm still working on it.
But you know, I
Because
understand it.
because it impacts you till later.
I
Not
don't
not
think
not one
you.
day.
No, I understand that. I really don't. I think there's a myth that you get over it. That's not true. You go through it,
Yeah.
and days get better. You
Yeah.
have your great moments. You have your great, like we were talking
Right.
about, collecting our moments. But that's a different scar.
Yeah.
That's a different scar.
Well, there are two parts of it. Like the first part is when it happens, you start questioning who you are
Absolutely.
and whether you're worth of love and love of fidelity, love of faithfulness, and so on and so forth. Then you have to work on figuring out who you are
Over again without this person.
without her and without the concept of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started doing inventory, because this is what happens,
Yeah.
what did I do? What happened? Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? And yes, I did a lot of things that might have not helped, and that pushed everybody's sort of owning their own decisions, right? But I also own the fact that I had to acknowledge I wasn't perfect either.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I wasn't faithful,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe I could have been a different person. Maybe I could have made other decisions.
Mm-mm.
Maybe I could have, just been stronger.
No, let me pour something into you.
Yeah.
Yes, marriage. Marriage is a work. When you sign on to be married,
Yeah.
you have to give each other room to grow and become whoever God has called you to be, but those come in stages.
Right.
But I want to change this mindset for you. Cheating had nothing to do with you. That is a constant decision that a one person makes. It's a selfish thing. It has. You can find it. If I want to cheat right now, I can find 100 reasons why. I can look at my mate and say, well, I don't like the way he brushes teeth. Or he gets on my nerves. Every time he comes in here, he passes gas all the time. I'm tired of it.
Right.
I mean, if I'm looking for a reason, I can definitely find it.
Yeah.
Cheating is a selfish act. It's a low self-esteem thing. It really has nothing to do with the person that they cheated on. Unfortunately, we're collateral damage. I'm not saying that in marriage that, yes, when I look at mine, I say to myself, there are things, Haneef, you could have done 100% better.
Right.
Absolutely, I will own that. There's growth.
Yeah.
Right? But that's a decision. And you are not a part of that decision.
Right.
And I hope that you know there would have been nothing everyone's capable of cheating. It depends on what situation, right, arises for you to take the opportunity to do it. Right? Even I'm capable of it. I just choose not to.
Yeah, and like I said, at that moment you're so fragile to life.
Yes.
So you start thinking, what if, I would have made the wrong choices then? But then all of those choices have consequences.
Yeah.
And so I feel that where I am now in life, that those choices that I made were the correct ones. And it led me to now, where, my life is different. I've overcome a lot of other things. And we have so many plans so many projects, and so many good things that are happening. And so I think what I really want to say is that even though there was a storm, they never last forever.
Come on.
My father used to say this to me: whatever happens, it's never forever. If you're having a good day, enjoy it because it's not going to last forever. If you're having a bad day, enjoy it because it's not going to be forever. So the present is the only thing we have left to enjoy, to be here, to be conscious of who we're with, what we're doing, what we're saying. And so that's the only thing that philosophy, I think, kept me going through those moments of like dark times. And little by little, after doing inventory, I realized, well, I'm not bad at all. I mean, I don't think I'm a bad person.
Right, right.
You know. And then you start recognizing, well, I could do this, I could do that, or people recognize this in me, so maybe it's a strength that I could use.
Yeah.
And so music became a refuge.
You're good at your music.
And then, oh, thank you.
I've seen you live.
Thank you.
You know,
and then
you sound like he sounds like his CD, you know, because some of y'all don't sound. He sounds like his CD live. I just want to say that.
In fact, you were.
I was at the and I met that person.
Yeah.
And even then, the way that you, Angel, you move with such integrity and how can I put it, grace. Because no, I'm gonna give you this instant that maybe you were still able to. This person was so rude and nasty to you during your moment, right? And I seen it, right?
Really,
I was so upset. I was so, because you're my friend, and I was like, he's like, yeah, this is my wife. Like, she's so mean to you, right? But it had nothing to do with you. I've learned. So whenever someone is cheating, there is, I don't know if it's a formula everybody uses, but you know, it's this stuff that you kind of see them do, right? So they'll come home, they'll find reasons to fight with you. They're rude and nasty to you. It just is this switch. And you're wondering, like, what the hell did I do? You know, like, what's really going on? But it's not you, it's their lack of communicating their needs to you. And also there's things that are in a person that may be childhood trauma that has them going that way that we can't fix anyway, right? And so, but what I'm trying to say is, in that moment, on your special day, you still gave her grace. You still moved in peace. You didn't allow any confusion and things to happen, although I peeked it.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
No, but I mean.
Oh, yeah, and you don't know, but I had a little word for her in the bathroom when we met.
Right?
Oh, yeah, I didn't like, yeah, but that's me as your friend.
Wow.
Okay? Because no one should treat, I don't care how mad I am at my husband. Don't do that on my day. You know? Just be in your best behavior, right? But even then, when I didn't get too much in your business, I just was like, he'll fix it, whatever it is. God, I pray for him. I pray for covering. I pray for an anointing, and I pray for his eyes to be open. And honey, not even a few, you remember? It blew up, and I was like, oh, well, that prayer worked. You know?
I tried, yeah. I mean, I think you become really good at, when you're in front of people, you become really good at hiding insights.
Yeah.
Hiding what's really happening.
Yeah.
And so it's like a double identity.
It is. It is, unfortunately, but it is.
You know, it's one of those things that you learn to do, sort of like people don't come to see you to have a bad time.
No, they
come
don't.
to see you to enjoy what you do. And so give them your best.
Absolutely.
Everywhere you go. And, you know, this is an example. Every time you come on here, you're doing your best. And I love watching you. And
Thank you, Angel.
It's great.
You've seen me for years, so you watched my journey, and I appreciate that.
I have, and I've seen
that.
Not only growth, but I've seen maturity in a professional way also.
Thank you.
And that's great. Your whole team is fantastic.
Thank you. You know, it took a minute to get me out the hood a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I really used to throw blows back then. No, Angel knows me, you guys. Y'all don't know, but yeah, we go way back.
We share really special moments.
We do.
And I want to thank you for that.
Me too. I thank you for always being an ear, as well as someone that always went back to the Word. And I really, really, really appreciate that. But let's talk about now.
Let's talk about now.
Let's talk about now.
Good time.
We talk about now. Let's talk about how God has blessed you with the right woman in your life, and you made more babies.
I didn't speak Spanish. I produced things.
Exactly.
After a number of years, I think it was God leading me to it's time for a family, and I was invited to this Christmas concert, and I wanted to do my thing. My daughter, my sister, and friends came with me, and I see this girl to the right of the stage wearing this blue dress, and it was winter, and it was so cold, and I had this big coat, and I finished performing, we were greeting each other, and then I felt so bad, and I was like, do you want my coat? Because it's so cold. And she was like shivering, and so I gave her my coat, and from that moment on, we started talking, and she was Miss Salvador at that moment.
Okay.
From
Go, Miss Salvador.
certain years back. Never in my wildest dreams I ever thought, this could be something. But then there was something. There's this feeling of she's gonna be somebody special in your life.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
But you deserve it, though. Do you know that? No, I'm saying that. Do you know that you deserve someone to love you the way that you give love to people around you? You deserve that, and I hope you hear that. That I want you to know that you're deserving of your happiness. You're deserving of God's joy. You're deserving of God's blessing, and some of that blessing is now your current wife now, but your beautiful. You're deserving of it, and you always have been. You've always been that gentleman. Some people, when they hear that your story that you gave her a jacket, I'm like, that's Angel though. That's who you are. You know what I mean? Like you've always been that man.
Since I was little, my dad. I was 3 years old. I have memories of him telling me, "Get up, give your chair to a lady, or open the door, or give your coat. It was just cold." But it was never with the intention of anything else.
No, that's just not. No, that's what I mean.
Right.
You being a gentleman is always who you've been. It's never been with intention of something different. It's always just been you. And I love that about you. And I love that for her.
Thank you.
I love that for her. And people don't know your story about, and we'll do a part two, how you lost your parents, both of us.
Yeah.
We've been through some stuff. You understand what I'm saying? We've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
But you're here, you're standing, and any day above ground is a good day. God gave you a second chance. And so I want to bring your wife up here. Can you tell me her name?
Sure. Her name is Jenny.
Hey, Jenny, come on up here and have a seat. Mm-hmm. No, you sit right here by your man. Okay.
Okay, this is a first for a lot of times. I mean, a lot of reasons. I've never shared an interview with personal.
It's your beautiful
This
wife.
is the first time.
This is the first time.
Yes.
In my entire life that I've shared this experience in my life with you as a friend and sharing an interview with her.
Well, Jenny, how do you love married life with Angel?
Well, I think God put me the right person in my life. This is the moment when God changed my life a lot. When He bring this gentleman to my life, he's everything to me. He's everything to me. He changed my life totally. Like it was what did he say? He met me. He met me in the places where I was doing some fashions.
Okay.
And I see him singing, and then when he came to my life, it was a perfect time. I can say that because I need a change in my life, and now with I'm being a mother with 2 kids, it's like the most beautiful thing happening in my life.
Because God is always on time.
Yes,
He's always on time.
Yes, I can say that because for 20 years I cannot have a baby. And I was always tell God, when you send me a baby, it had to be with the perfect guy, with the perfect man. It had to be next to me.
And you got 2.
And I got 2.
Come on
instead
now.
of 1.
Come on. Well, I want to thank you both for being on my show. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Couch of Therapy show. I am your host, Haneef R Jordan. And until next time, folks.
Tu salvación.